Hiya, I'm going to show you this makeup look from scratch today. It's a bit of a pinky peachy plum hybrid. It's a recreation of a makeup on Florence Pugh that my friend Laura really wanted to see. Here's a picture of the original makeup and I've tagged the makeup artist here as well. But yeah, I'm just going to give it a little go, so I hope you enjoy. As always, everything I've used is listed in the description of the video, so if you click to make it full screen, the title will come up along the top, click the arrow next to it and a full list of everything will drop down. But that said, please feel free to just use whatever you've already got at home in your makeup bag. So to start off, the complexion of this look is really fresh and glowy. And so I'm going to start with some of Ciate's Glow Serum. Now, Ciate Jewel, if you don't already follow her, she's a brilliant journalist to follow. She has collaborated with the Organic Pharmacy to make this. And ultimately, it's this lovely golden kind of concoction. It's a mixture of hyaluronic acid, you've got aloe and vitamin C in here. So it's going to be really brightening. Now, as this goes on, you can see that it doesn't kind of leave a tint to the skin. It just adds a little bit of radiance that will show through my makeup. And one thing I would always say for any kind of glowy skin complexion, your skincare prep is so key to how that will initially sit and also how it will last through the day. So I'm taking this all over. While I'm speaking of Ciate, I was just thinking before we came on, I'm going to go in with some Bye Bye and Dry Concealer in medium, by the way. She was on my podcast. It must have been last summer now. Really brilliant episode. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that, it's called Beauty from the Heart. I'm just going to go in with this on the cheeks. And it was a really, really lovely episode. So do have a little listen. Now, I'm going to take a full coverage right the way through this redness and leave the rest of my skin quite fresh. Now, just in the interest of saving some time, I've skimmed past this particular step. I've taken some concealer just where I want it so that I haven't got a full coverage all over, and hopefully in turn a bit more of that natural skin luminosity will shine through. But I'm going to go in with the Danessa Myricks Cream Contour and just add a bit of warmth, in particular to the outer sections of the face. Because I haven't put any tanning drops on this week. I'm going to probably do some this evening, and this is quite a golden luminous look, so I really want to add a little bit of warmth into the skin. I have to say, I bought this a little while ago now from Cult Beauty, and it's one of my favourite cream products I've used in a long time. I've got a number of cream bronzers. There's quite a few that I recommend if you were on a bit of a budget. The Peaches and Cream Contour is about £6 and it's brilliant. And this one I just love because I think it really seamlessly buffs over whatever you put it on top of and looks really natural. Now, I just put a touch of lip balm on because my lips are feeling a little bit dry. I'm taking a tiny bit of setting powder over the eyes, and then I'm going to go in with some shadows. Now, this particular look, even though I'm looking at it right now on a picture here, even though it's quite pink and violet, there's almost a bit of peach through the socket. And because it was my friend Laura that asked me for this, basically, we both love Girls of the Playboy Mansion, or both used to watch it. And ages ago, she was like, oh my God, Holly Madison has done a full tutorial on YouTube, and we watched it and loved it. And one of her shadows that she used was MAC Paradisco. I don't know if it's Paradiso or Paradisco, actually. I looked at it really quickly. But anyway, I'm going to start with this really gently through the socket. I mean, you could use any kind of peach for this, but I just thought I'd use this one because I know Laura has this one. And I'm going to take this little peachy colour just through here. Fun fact about Paradisco, when I worked at Selfridges and you get your staff discount, I bought this, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 times, and didn't realise I'd bought the same shadow, but I used to see it on my shift and be like, oh my gosh, like I really want to get that home. It's this pinky peach. I haven't even worn it in years, but at the time it was just my absolute fave. It's just the right peachy side of pink that if you've got blue eyes, it will make them pop, but it won't be like, why have you got a bright pink eyeshadow on? Do you know what I mean? Okay, next, using my finger, I'm taking a cranberry shade on the lid and up to that crease. This is the kind of pink shade from the Tom Ford Honeymoon palette. Speaking of Selfridges, I remember when this came out. Alison, if you're watching, Stephen, all of yous, I remember it was just like carnage. Everyone wanted this palette. There was a big wait list for it. It sold out straight away. And I've had this ever since. This was one of those moments. So I'm going to take this just with my finger up to the crease. And then the thing is as well, there's kind of a bit of plum in this, but there's no real definition as to which goes where. So I'm just going to kind of work all of these colours in really softly. This brush is the one with the Paradisco on, and I'm just picking it up again and making sure that it's really soft between that cranberry colour and the socket. And then I'm going to take a smaller brush with this plum and start to go under the lash line. Now, ultimately, the plum is a tiny little part of this, and I really want this kind of cranberry colour to be the main event. So I'm going to go really gently and just barely touch the brush really to the eyes, so that it's more of a soft wash of colour rather than something really pigmented. I might even take the same smudger brush and just really gently take a little touch of that plum, just kind of on these outer corners, I suppose. Now, even that feels like a touch too much, so I'm going to take a clean brush and buff this out. Look at my tan on my hands. I mean, I've admitted we're in between tan days this week, so do forgive me. And I'm just going to soften the edges here. And then one of the things that I think is lovely about this makeup is there's lots of accents of highlighter. And I'm just going to use the lightest shade here and just accent the inner corners, the brow bone, and then add a little bit of mascara and do the brows and all sorts. Now, to save time, I'm going to speed through some superhero mascara. I would also say for any of these kind of red or plum colours, if they're feeling a bit intense or you feel like they're making you look a bit tired, just really go overboard with the mascara, and that frames the eyes so well that it just makes the rest of your makeup feel just as elegant and just as classic as any of the colours that you're used to wearing. Okay, the brows on this one are really soft and fluffy, so I'm going to go back in with the Anastasia Brow Freeze. Anastasia is at Space NK now, which would be really nice to kind of go in, have a little mooch, have a play in store. I'm going to start brushing these up and then brush a bit of product through them. And just while I'm still vaguely on the subject of Laura, I know I always go on about her, but I just think if you enjoy these videos, you know how it's kind of like half makeup, half a chat. You'd love Laura's videos because they're the same, but she's so funny. And I just feel like I feel so on the same page as her that if you're enjoying these videos, you'd love hers. And she always has really good like celebrity makeup stories. She's been a journalist for a really long time, and like this evening she's doing a live chat with Hiram all about his skincare line. But she's also really good at getting out of people like exactly what they use. So yeah, have a little look at her. Also, if you've got TikTok, like she is one of the best people to follow on TikTok. I feel like every 5 minutes she's gone viral because she just comes up with the funniest things. But anyway, I'm going in with a little bit of the Brow Power Filler from It Cosmetics. Now, this is actually, I'm scooping it out on the back of my hand for good reason. This is like a 3-in-1. It's what your mascara does for your lashes, for your eyebrows. But the wand has bristles on it. Now, I love this kind of gel formula, but if I go in with this wand, I'm going to ruin the shape that I've just brushed. So instead, I'm going to take the formula on an angled brush and then really gently piece it through the shape that I've created with this little brush. And listen, I totally hear you that for day to day, that feels like a bit of a faff. But like the nice thing about an IGTV video is, you know, it's not real life, is it? It's 15 minutes of makeup. It's following a little technique to try and get this makeup to be as close to the picture as possible. By all means, you wouldn't need to layer lots of things in this way. One or the other of these products would be great for you. But just because I'm having a little experiment, I'm gonna work it all in this way. But I suppose the point I'm making is, don't feel like if you wanted to replicate this, it would need to be as high maintenance as using two different things. You could just use one over the other. The reason I've done it this way is that this little soft brush enables me to get a bit of a softer finish and kind of merge the benefits of two things in one. Okay, I feel like with brows, you could carry on all day and it would still not be perfect. So I'm just going to continue on. Looking at the cheeks on this picture, I'm going to use like a coral blush. This is the Pixie, let me get the name correct, On The Glow blush. They're really like a fluorescent flush of colour that doesn't add any coverage. So it's really nice and fresh. It just adds a real luminosity to the complexion. But what there also is on the cheeks of this makeup is like an opalescent kind of highlighter. So on top of this, which feels nice and fresh as it is, I'm also going to go in with David Horn's House of Glam Dolls. This is the Glam Light Wheel, and ultimately you've got all of these different illuminator shades that you can mix or use as standalone colours, and there's a kind of pinky radiant one. Now I'm going to take a tiny bit of this, just really through the very fullest parts of the cheeks. It's the kind of thing that forward on you might not notice, but if you were to have photos taken or you were out and about, that tan, I think that's actually a bit of an all-time low for me recently. But do you know what? Who cares? You know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Right. Lovely bit of pearly radiance. If you're a makeup artist, I'd really recommend David has a number of different wheels like this for your kit. He's got the same for kind of colour correction, concealer, all with different complexions in mind. So you've got one little compact thing for your kit that will cover all of your clients. And now I'm going to go in for a bit of a peachy lip. I'm going to start with a bit more of a brown liner. This is the Peaches and Cream borderline. And then I'm going to go in with this Ciate Colour Flip lip gloss. I've not tried it before. Apparently, when you put it on and go outside, it completely changes colour. So I'll finish my makeup and then we'll go outside and see what happens. Well, there we go. I'm really happy with that, actually. It was colours I wouldn't have put together, but I loved them. So thank you, Laura, for the recommendation. Also, if you're watching this in real time, Laura's live this evening is at 8 o'clock on her page. And if you're watching it afterwards, she'll probably have saved it down. So do go and have a little look. But thank you for watching, and let me know if there's anything else you want to see a video on, and I'll chat to you very soon. Take care. Okay, I just went outside and came back in, and it is a bit pinker, isn't it?